Welcome to another episode of Tiny Talks Big Ideas podcast. You know that sinking feeling? It's just a normal Tuesday. Maybe you're dealing with emails, grabbing another coffee, and then it lands. That HR meeting invite and the subject line. Super vague, maybe formal inquiry discussion or just meeting to discuss a workplace matter.
Yeah.
That sudden physical stomach drop.
Totally, yeah.
And your mind just races, right? What did I do? Who complained? Am I about to lose my job? It's terrifying, that ambiguity.
It really is. Hits you hard.
And that exact feeling, that gut punch, is why we're doing this deep dive today, our mission. It's more than just explaining an internal workplace inquiry. We want to pull back the curtain on the whole thing.
Demystify it a bit.
Exactly. Think of this as your survival guide for when that workplace spotlight suddenly swings onto you, fairly or unfairly.
Because it happens more often than people think. It's often misunderstood.
Right. You don't have to feel blindsided or like you're automatically guilty. We want to give you practical steps, some insights, so you can navigate this, incredibly stressful time and stay in control.
Regain some agency, yeah.
So, okay, let's unpack this. An internal inquiry. What are we really talking about here beyond just, HR getting involved?
Well, there are a lot of misconceptions. Fundamentally, it's a formal fact-finding mission. The employer starts it.
Fact-finding, not a trial.
Precisely. It's not about judgment up front. It's about gathering information, understanding what happened, and seeing if any company policies were broken.
So due diligence, basically.
Exactly. They have a legal and ethical reason to investigate certain things, to find the truth, not jump to conclusions.
And what kind of things can trigger these? It's not always some massive scandal, is it?
Oh, definitely not. The triggers are really diverse. Sure, you have the serious stuff, harassment, discrimination, data breaches, those are obvious.
Right.
But it could also be something like a persistent argument over who gets credit for a project, or a bullying complaint, maybe a policy violation that seems minor on the surface.
Like using the company printer too much. Or something more serious.
Could be anything, really. Ethics questions, how resources are used. Sometimes it's not even a complaint. An audit might flag something weird with finances.
Yeah.
Or maybe high turnover in one team makes them look closer. It's all about workplace integrity,
And that email notification, the vague subject line, feels almost designed to cause panic. Why do they do that? Is it intentional?
It feels awful, I know, but yes, that vagueness is usually intentional. It's strategic.
Strategic how?
It's mainly to prevent collusion or evidence tampering before they talk to everyone.
Ah, okay. So if you knew exactly what it was about.
You or others involved might try to get your story straight, influence witnesses, maybe even delete emails or files. So while it feels scary and ambiguous to you, it's often just standard procedure to keep the investigation fair.
Right. And who are you actually facing? The people in the room. It's not a jury, but it can feel pretty intimidating.
Definitely not a jury, no. The panel, let's call it, is usually small, maybe one or two people, often from HR. Usually HR leads it. Sometimes, for impartiality, they'll bring in a manager from a completely different department. If it's legally sensitive, you might see in-house legal counsel there, too.
And unions.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In a union workplace, your union rep would definitely be involved right from the start. Their role, officially, is to be neutral fact-finders.
But it doesn't feel neutral when you're the one being questioned.
Rarely does, no. But here's the key thing to remember. Being called in doesn't mean you're guilty. You might just be a witness. Or it could all be a big misunderstanding.
Okay, let's talk about the feelings, because this part is huge. The emotional earthquake. That email lands and bam, your whole system just lights up.
Total overdrive.
That stomach drop is just the start. Fear, confusion, maybe anger, even shame, even if you know you did nothing wrong.
Completely normal, 100%.
It feels like a punch to the gut. You immediately spiral into, am I fired? Is my career ruined?
It's classic fight or flight. Your brain is screaming danger. Acknowledge those feelings, absolutely. But don't let them drive your actions.
That's crucial.
Yes, because here's the critical point. An accusation is not a verdict. So many good, hardworking, ethical employees get wrongly accused. Misunderstandings happen, personality clashes, sometimes, unfortunately, even malicious complaints.
Right.
This whole process, ideally, exists to sort that out, to find the truth. Your gut reaction isn't guilt, it's just being human under pressure.
So you feel that wave of emotion. What are the very first practical things you should do to get some control back?
First thing, breathe. Seriously, just take a breath. Don't dash off an angry email. Don't storm over to a colleague's desk.
Resist the urge.
Absolutely. Once you're a bit calmer, read that notification again, carefully, every word.
Look for clues.
Exactly. Does it mention specific company policies? Does it say anything about your rights, like bringing a support person or a union rep? That notice is your first piece of evidence.
And if it's still super vague,
Then it's perfectly reasonable and often smart to politely ask for more information.
how would you phrase that?
Something professional and calm. Like, to help me prepare for our meeting and address the concerns effectively, could you please provide some more specific details about the topic?
And they might still say no, or be vague.
They might, but you've put it on record that you asked. You've asserted your right to understand what you're facing.
Okay. What about confidentiality? They always tell you not to talk about it. That feels isolating.
It does. It's designed to feel a bit chilling. They'll almost certainly say, don't discuss this investigation with anyone.
To protect the process.
Right, prevent witness tampering, collusion. But, and this is vital, it usually means don't talk to your colleagues or others potentially involved. It does not mean you can't talk to your lawyer or your union rep.
Ah, that's a key distinction.
Huge. You don't have to go through this completely alone. Get advice.
And then there's the who. Not knowing who complained. That can drive you crazy.
It's one of the hardest parts, mentally. The accuser's identity is often protected.
Why is that?
To prevent retaliation, mainly. To encourage people to speak up if they see wrongdoing without fearing for their job or safety.
Makes sense, but it's still tough.
It is. Your mind will spin trying to figure it out, running through names, interactions. Here's my advice. Don't fall into that trap.
Don't play detective.
Exactly. Don't speculate. It drains your energy and takes your focus off what matters.
Which is?
The allegation itself. Build your response around the facts of the situation, not guessing who pointed the finger or why. Focus on the what, not the who.
Right. Okay, so you've managed the initial shock, taken those first steps. Now let's get into what I call game time, the preparation. This is where you can really start to take back some control.
Yes, absolutely. This is your crucial homework phase. You need to gather everything, anything that supports your side of the story.
Like what specifically?
Emails are huge, calendar appointments showing where you were, project files, chat logs, Slack, Teams, whatever you use, even informal notes you might have jotted down at the time.
Your digital breadcrumbs.
Perfect term for it. Or your receipts, concrete stuff that backs up your account. An email proving a timeline. Meeting minutes clarifying a decision. Chat records showing context. Facts are your absolute best friends here.
So you're essentially building your own file, your own case.
You are. Next step. Create a timeline. A detailed factual chronology of events, dates, times, places, who was involved. Write it down. Don't just rely on memory.
Played it organized.
Then draft your narrative, your account of what happened. Keep it clear, concise, and strictly factual.
No emotional language.
Try to avoid it. Instead of he was being totally unfair, stick to observable facts. His feedback on May 15th stated my work wasn't up to standard. Be specific. On Tuesday at 10 a.m., I sent the email about Project X. At 2 p.m., we had the team meeting where we discussed why. Precision matters.
And this is also when you need to reach out for support, right?
Critically important. If you have a union, call your rep immediately. They handle these things all the time.
And if you don't?
Seriously consider talking to an employment lawyer. Many offer initial consultations, sometimes free or low cost. Just getting that initial advice can be incredibly clarifying and reassuring.
Good point. What about company resources?
Yes, don't forget those. Your employee handbook, the code of conduct, any specific policies about investigations or the issue at hand.
Why? Look at those.
2 reasons. First, you understand the standards they're measuring you against. Second, you can see if they're following their own procedures. Knowing the rules is empowering.
Okay, makes sense. Then what?
Practice. It might feel weird, but rehearse telling your story out loud.
Like to a mirror. Or a friend.
Both work. It helps organize your thoughts. It helps you control your tone, keep it calm and factual. It even helps with body language.
How you appear matters.
It really does. You want to come across as calm, cooperative, professional. Make eye contact not aggressively, but steadily. Sit upright. Keep your hands visible, maybe resting on the table or your lap.
Little things.
And a practical tip. Bring a bottle of water. Your mouth will get dry under stress. Taking a sip gives you a moment to think and you won't sound shaky. Stay hydrated, stay composed.
Okay, those are the duties.
Yeah.
Now, the big don'ts during prep. What should you absolutely avoid?
Top of the list, do not play Sherlock Holmes with your colleagues.
My hating.
Don't go around asking people, hey, did you hear anything? Or do you know who complained? Don't try to interrogate anyone.
Why is that so bad?
It can backfire spectacularly, makes you look defensive, maybe like you're trying to influence people. It could even be seen as intimidating witnesses or obstructing the investigation. Huge mistake.
Got it. Anything else?
And definitely, definitely do not vent or trash talk anyone involved, especially not on company systems. No angry Slack messages, no complaining emails. Assume everything you write internally could be seen.
Wow, okay. Good warning.
Any negative or emotional outburst can and likely will be used to undermine your credibility. Focus inward on your facts, your timeline, your preparation.
Okay, you've prepped, you've practiced, you've avoided the pitfalls. Now it's the actual day, the hearing, the meeting. What should you expect walking into that room?
It'll probably feel pretty formal, maybe a bit sterile. The panel members, usually 2 or 3 people, will introduce themselves. They should explain the process, how the interview will work.
Will they tell you the allegations then?
Yes, they should clearly outline the allegations or concerns. They might even summarize some of the information or evidence they've already gathered. Then the questions start.
What kind of questions?
It can be a mix. Some broad, open-ended ones like, can you walk us through the launch of that project? Others will be very specific, drilling down into dates, times, conversations.
Will they challenge you?
They might. They could present different perspectives, maybe evidence that seems to contradict your account. There's testing consistency and gauging your reaction.
Okay, let's hit the crucial do's and don'ts for inside that room. What are the absolute must-dos?
Okay, number 1, listen to the entire question before you answer. Don't jump in. Pause. Make sure you understand it.
And be honest.
Absolutely critical. Be truthful. If you genuinely don't remember something, say, I don't recall that specific detail, or I'm not certain. Don't guess. Don't make things up.
What if you don't understand the question?
Do ask for clarification. It's fine to say, could you please rephrase that? It shows you want to answer accurately.
And keeping calm.
Maintain calm professionalism, even if it feels intense or the questions seem accusatory. If you feel yourself getting flustered or overwhelmed, it's okay to ask for a brief pause. Could I have a moment, please?
That's loud.
Yes. Better to take a moment than to react emotionally. And another point. If you genuinely realize you made a small mistake or could have done something better, acknowledging it can actually build credibility. It shows you're reasonable and self-aware.
What about disagreeing?
You can and should respectfully disagree if their interpretation is wrong. Frame it calmly. I understand that might be one perception, but from my perspective, this is what occurred. Stick to your facts.
Got it. Now, the big don'ts.
Yeah.
Just as important.
Right. Don't interrupt the panel members. Let them finish speaking.
Hard to do sometimes.
It is, but crucial. Don't get defensive or angry. Any outburst looks bad, easily read as guilt or unwillingness to cooperate.
What about answering the questions?
Don't volunteer extra information. Answer the question asked directly and concisely, then stop talking. Resist that urge to fill the silence or over-explain.
Keep it focused.
Exactly. Don't blame other people or make excuses. Stick to your factual account of your actions and observations. And repeating this because it's vital, do not fabricate anything. Honesty is your best defense. Getting caught in a lie is far worse.
If you are allowed to bring someone with you, like a union rep or maybe a colleague, what's their role during the meeting?
A companion can be really helpful. They aren't usually there to answer for you, but to support you and ensure the process is fair.
How do they support?
They might help outline your position at the start. They could step in to clarify a point if you're struggling, maybe respond to a specific procedural question. And importantly, they can take notes for you.
So you can focus on the questions.
Exactly. It frees you up to listen carefully and answer thoughtfully. But it's still a good idea for you to jot down your own quick notes, too. The main questions asked, your key responses. That personal record can be really useful later.
Okay, fast forward. The meeting's over. You've said your piece. You walk out. But the stress isn't gone, is it? That waiting period must be agony.
Oh, absolutely. The waiting can be just as tough, sometimes tougher than the meeting itself. It's the not knowing.
What can you do then?
Before you leave the meeting room, always try to ask about next steps. What happens now? Is there an estimated timeline for a decision? Get clarity if you can. It helps manage expectations, even if timelines slip.
And the potential outcomes. It's not always just fired or not fired.
No, definitely not. There's a spectrum. Best case, You're completely cleared, no action taken, the company found no wrongdoing.
What should you do then?
If you're cleared, ask for written confirmation for your records. Always good to have.
Wait, what else could happen?
A common outcome is some kind of formal warning or action. Maybe they found a minor policy breach, but there were mitigating factors. This could be a written warning, maybe mandatory training, or a performance improvement plan.
Do you have any recourse then?
Usually, yes. You typically have the right to appeal that decision internally.
And the worst case scenario?
In serious situations, yes, it could lead to suspension or even termination. But even then, it's not necessarily the end of the road. You might still have options for appeal or legal action.
If you were cleared, how do you handle going back to work? It must feel awkward.
It can. Best advice, hold your head high, be professional, focus on your work, don't gossip or rehash the inquiry with colleagues, let your work and conduct speak for themselves.
Learn from it.
Yes, quietly, for yourself. Was there a communication issue you could improve? A policy you need to understand better? Use it as a learning experience to protect yourself in the future. Better documentation, clearer emails, always good practices.
And if action is taken against you?
If you feel the action is unfair or wrong, that's when you absolutely lean on your union rep or the employment lawyer you consulted earlier. They can guide you through any appeal process or discuss legal options.
And regardless of outcome?
Try to see it, eventually, as a growth opportunity. Maybe it pushes you to be more familiar with policies, more careful with documentation, clearer in communication, or better at setting professional boundaries.
Okay, one last area, and it's huge. We have to talk about mental health through all this.
Yes, crucial. We can't stress this enough.
The stress is immense. It can easily trigger anxiety, depression, burnout.
Absolutely. The psychological toll is significant and very real. Don't try to tough it out alone. Talk to someone you trust, your partner, a good friend, family.
What about professional help?
Definitely utilize your company's Employee Assistance Program, the EAP. It's free, it's confidential counseling, and it's incredibly valuable, but often underused. Take advantage of it.
And general self-care.
Yes. Basic stuff, but it matters. Try to exercise, prioritize sleep, make time for hobbies, things that take your mind off work. And please remember, one incident, especially a potentially unfair one, does not define you or your career.
It's okay to admit you're struggling.
Absolutely. It's okay to be stressed. Set boundaries where you can, disconnect from work when possible, and stay connected with your social support network.
So wrapping this up, the key takeaways from this deep dive seem to be,
No,
you're not powerless in this situation.
not at all.
You have rights. You have a voice. You have value. You deserve fair treatment, respect. These inquiries feel awful, but they are survivable.
And often, people are cleared, or the outcome is relatively minor.
Right.
And, even though this process feels really heavy, try not to lose your confidence or hope entirely. So many people have been through this and come out the other side, often stronger.
A difficult experience, but maybe strengthening in the long run.
It can be. Your professional worth isn't defined by one panel's decision. Your career is long. So maybe ask yourself, how could this experience, whatever the outcome, actually empower you? How can it make you a more deliberate, maybe more prepared professional going forward? What's the lesson here for you?
That's a powerful thought to end on. And remember, resources are available: EAPs, union recs, employment lawyers, even mental health hotlines. Use them. Until next time we meet in another episode of Tiny Talks Big Ideas podcast, stay safe,